Hey guys, John Lee Dumas here, founder and host of EO Fire, and you're listening to Bravepreneur Parents Academy with Balaji O.
Welcome to Bravepreneur Parents Academy, where the world's most inspiring entrepreneurs reveal their most defining childhood moments and share their legacy for raising brave little heroes who will grow up to change the world. And now, he still reads comic books under the blanket at bedtime. Please welcome your host, best-selling author, award-winning speaker, and self-confessed geek dad, Balaji O. You know, like the hotel in Vegas? Yeah, no, that's really his name. Balaji O.
With Bravepreneur Parents Academy. Today, we are talking to Gerry Hays. He is the dynamic, the guy behind BillionDinners.org, also known as DinnerCall. I got to meet Gerry at a recent parenting conference, and this guy's story blew my mind. He's about to blow yours as well. Gerry, thank you for joining us, and welcome.
Thank you, Balaji. Appreciate it.
So, Gerry, what is DinnerCall? What's the story behind this very innovative company you founded?
Well, DinnerCall really is all about reconnecting our families and reconnecting us with the others around us that we care about, whether it's our neighbors, family, friends, wherever you are. Research has shown that people who take 25 minutes of their day, put their phones down, and enjoy a meal with the folks that they care about, and enter into a conversation that's not, hey, what did you do today for work or whatever. You get into an interesting conversation. Studies show that folks that do that actually have a much more fulfilled life, and that translates into a number of wellness effects like lower obesity, lower substance abuse, lower depression, kids' grades improve, kids feel overall more fulfillment. And so we decided to activate that research by building a mobile application that you can utilize to help you through the process of re-engaging at the dinner hour.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is interesting. So, Gerry, while we were at the At-Home Dads conference in Raleigh last week, we were at dinner, generously sponsored by DinnerCall, and you actually pulled out this app. There were 5 guys at the table, 5 dads, and you fired up. None of us knew each other prior to this dinner conversation. Could you maybe share what that experience was like for you, Gerry?
Oh, absolutely. So I had the pleasure of sitting down with you and a few other guys, and we were, just got our dinner, and I pulled out the app, and I said, hey, let's just track this for 25 minutes, and then we took a picture of that event. And then when I hit the track button, a question popped up. And that question allowed everyone to, kind of share their answer to the interesting question. I can't remember what the question was. I've answered so many of these questions. But it allowed all of us to learn something interesting from everyone that we never would have known if you just sort of normal day-to-day type of conversation. And
I believe the question was, what's your favorite smell? Something to that effect.
That's right. Or what's your favorite smell? And so everyone got to explain what was their favorite smell and why. And it just opened up a whole new line of conversation that, carried us for 45, 50 minutes?
We went for 45 minutes, and Gerry, I got to admit, when you set the timer at 25 minutes, I was a little bit skeptical. I felt like, okay, 25 minutes is a long time. This is some good food. It's been a long day. I'm just trying to eat. Okay, 45 minutes later, we're still talking, and the conversation actually didn't end at 45 minutes. Gerry just happened to stop the timer at 45 minutes. Do you find that experience happens a lot when you bring out this app?
It absolutely does. And, I've got 3 kids and been married for, 22 years. And I try to have dinner every night. And I got to admit, before DinnerCall, the dinners became something that not everyone was excited about. You do it over and over again. And you're like, where's this going? But by bringing in these questions, these interesting questions, it is amazing how everyone looks forward to coming to the dinner table and engaging. And we end up sitting with our kids for 45, 50 minutes. They don't want to leave. And
Wow.
It's because they're learning things about us, and then it triggers an old memory that we had when we were their age. It just is an amazing experience. And we did a beta test with a few families. We challenged them to do DinnerCall. It's called the 10 and 2 challenge. Have 10 DinnerCall experiences within a 2-week period, and tell us how it changes your life and the life of your family. And everyone has come back and has just said that it has been amazing. They completely view dinner differently, and they're so excited to come to the dinner table. And they've built and fostered better relationships with their kids just in 2 weeks.
That's amazing. Gerry, I'm going to share a little bit about my experience or my attempt to introduce DinnerCall after having this great experience with you last weekend. So I was really fired up. I was pumped up after getting the experience up close and personal. And so I came home and I declared to my family, we shall do DinnerCall for 2 weeks. But you know how it is when people make New Year's resolutions, right? There's a lot of motivation on that first day, but as the month progresses, that excitement, that novelty wears off and real life creeps in. So what happened with me is the very next day, it was dinner time. I was hustling, trying to make dinner, one meal for one kid, the other meal for the other kid who doesn't like the first thing. My wife is trying to get this thing done. We're multitasking in multiple different ways. And as has unfortunately been the tradition sometimes in my family, the kids were in front of a TV, eating while they watch TV. Now, I shared with you in person that that's a family tradition I don't want to become a long-term tradition. So I said, you know what, guys, let's turn off the TV. Let's talk. I hadn't even downloaded the app yet, Gerry. I apologize. I hadn't downloaded the app. But I said, let's talk for a minute. And I expected World War III when I suggested turning off that TV. So you know what my older son says, my 8-year-old? He says, Daddy, tell me about a story from when you were a kid. I said, what? He said, yeah, tell me about a story. So I ended up telling him a story about when I was a kid. We ended up talking way past bedtime, very much reminiscent of what you shared with your experiences, Gerry. This was just from the concept of the app. We hadn't even downloaded the app yet. So I'm still on the hook to try the 10 and 2 challenge, and I'm excited to see what kind of results other folks can get for themselves. But, Gerry, how did you even come up with this concept? Is this something that your family had traditionally done when you were a child? The dinner table was a place for me as a child where I was safe, right? Growing up as a kid, and you go through junior high, and I can't even imagine what it's like today with Instagram, Snapchat, and all the other, tools that are out there for kids to engage. But junior high and those years are really tough. And to come to a dinner table where you're not judged and you can listen to your brothers speak or your parents, tell a story, or sometimes you get a lecture about life. But it really shaped me as a kid. And that's a tradition that I kept up, as an adult with my kids and my wife. But it really kind of solidified for me is when I have a grandfather who's 97 years old. He lives about an hour outside Chicago, and I go up and I see him every 6 to 8 weeks. When I get to Chicago on business, I'll head over and I'll spend the night with him. And invariably, what happens is we talk for an hour before I get up there. What are we going to do for dinner? And then we'll go to Boden's, which is a butcher, and we'll shop for some of the ingredients, and we get back to his house. Now remember, he's 97 years old, and he cooks a dinner. And I get to sit back, and if he needs me to do something, I do it. But he really enjoys cooking a dinner for me, and he's a magnificent cook. And I get to sit back and have a glass of wine while he does it. It's great. And then we'll spend, 3 or 4 hours at the dinner table just talking until it's time to go to bed. And he'll talk about, times when he was in the 1920s and the 30s, and stories when he was a World War II vet, and sharing some of those experiences. And I every time I leave, I feel so in spirit. And it's just like everyone should be doing this. No matter how young a child is, you can learn something from him or her. How old a grandparent is,
There's something you can learn from him or her, but there's just something magical about bringing that all out at the dinner table. So
wow.
It's really where it's like, you know what, I'm 47 years old. I want to make a difference in this world. And I'm just going to, go out there and push as hard as I can to remind people that this is the time of day where you really can feel human again.
So, Gerry, what do you think is maybe the downside of us modern parents and modern families being so hyper-scheduled and multitask-oriented that we skip these family conversations? What are we really missing out on? What's the danger of going down that path?
Well, I think it's like anything, right? Balaji, think about anything that you do. If you do it too much at the expense of other things, your life becomes unbalanced. And I think that's probably the downside of not doing this, is that our lives become increasingly unbalanced and overweight towards, activities and, sports events for some and music for others and so on and so forth. And we don't ever take the time to just look at each other like, why are we here together? We're here together in proximity, but we're not here together in connectivity. And that leads to a lot of, depressed feelings. I can't say it any other way, is that, it's depressing when you're around other people, but you're not connected to them. So I think the fear for it's okay to have busy schedules and to have, families that are, very career oriented and kids that are very focused on, sports or music or arts or whatever, but take the 30 minutes a day and say, you know what, nothing matters in this 30-minute period but us together, reconnecting. And if you can do that, everything else makes everything else feel all that much better. Because when you know that you're connected with your family, every other activity you do in this world, it just makes it easier.
That is powerful. That is powerful. Gerry, we only have you for a few more minutes, and so if it's okay with you, I want to put you through what our listeners like to call the lightning round.
Okay.
We're going to go through your childhood and dig up some of those fun and maybe a little embarrassing moments. So are you up for the lightning round, Gerry?
I am up for the lightning round. I admit I did not look at the questions because I just wanted this to be spontaneous. So.
Oh, this is going to be fun.
I know.
All right.
I'm just going to start talking.
So let's do this. First, Gerry, your favorite superhero?
Captain America.
Oh, okay. That was easy. Nice one. Yeah. Favorite cartoon TV show?
Bugs Bunny.
Oh, man, you're good at this. Favorite video game growing up?
Galaga.
Wow. Favorite family tradition?
Oh, definitely dinner time.
Dinner time is a good one. What motivated you as a child, Gerry?
My older brothers.
I like that. I like that. And Gerry, what was a most embarrassing moment for you as a child? One memory that sticks out with you, at least one that you haven't blocked away, that you still recall. What's one of those embarrassing childhood moments that you still remember today? By the way, parents, kids love it when you answer this question for them. So, Gerry, what was yours?
Okay. Well, this is extremely embarrassing. Extremely embarrassing.
Nobody knows you on this.
I was in fifth grade and I was going for my first kiss and I missed.
Oh, Gerry, I feel your pain, brother. I'm cringing with you because I've been there. That is good. Thank you for sharing that. And finally, Gerry, what was your parents' parenting style? Your dad, your mom, how did they parent?
It was a combination of independence and dictatorship. So when they were in parenting mode, it was a dictatorship. But when they were out of parenting mode, they gave us the freedom to kind of live our lives. So
interesting.
Yeah, it wasn't in between. They weren't hyper involved with our lives, which was actually a good thing. My father, he had started a company when I was, fifth, sixth grade, and we literally did not have any money for clothes. So we all took paper routes and so we could buy clothes for ourselves and things like that. And it was probably the best thing that's ever happened to me. It just taught us, at such an early age, the importance of a work ethic, getting up, having responsibility, managing a bank account. I mean, I learned all that by the time I was, 13 years old.
Wow.
So as he was out building a business, my mom was sort of holding the fort. And, with 4 boys, not one single person can get all that much attention. So just by definition of the numbers, there's a lot of independence there. But they knew where the lines were, and if we went over a line, then the raft came down.
Very, very interesting, Gerry. And as we part and end this conversation, is there one single piece of advice or a resource that you'd like to share with these busy entrepreneur parents here today?
I would say that try not to spend a lot of time having, thoughts about your past or thoughts about your future. When it comes to when you're with your kids, be with your kids 100%. And if you do that, everything else, will take care of itself. Just be present when it's time to be a parent, be present.
Gerry, that reminds me, at the At-Home Dads Conference, you talked about a concept called the gap.
Right.
And I really thought it was powerful. Would you mind just elaborating for 30 seconds on what the gap is?
Sure. So in all of our lives, if you would just visualize a line in front of you, that is the present moment. But so much of our time and our brains, we spend thinking about the past, like what happened 10 minutes ago or a week ago or whatever. Sometimes they're good memories, sometimes they're bad memories, but they're just recycled memories. And we just keep rethinking about those memories. Or we're thinking about our future and looking, on the other side of that line about what's ahead of us. And then it creates stress and anxiety. But to truly feel fulfillment is that if you can stop thinking about the past or thinking about the future and open up that line to make it bigger and bigger, that is the gap. That is the moment that we are in today. And when you're in the moment today, you see the world completely differently. You don't see it through conditioned eyes. You just see a smile on someone's face. You taste food in a different way. You notice things that you didn't notice otherwise. And that is, so we call the dinner gap. We're trying to help folks create that gap during the dinner hour, but you can create this gap at any point in time. But it's so important to take a few moments to try to live right now and see the world where it is right now, where you're at. And that's the gap.
Powerful. We're going to end on that note. Gerry, how can folks get involved in the Billion Dinners Challenge or the 10 in 2 Challenge?
I would love nothing more than for folks to go to billiondinners.org and download the app and take the 10 in 2 Challenge and then write to us and tell us how much it changed their lives. Because to really start this, to stoke this fire, we need some early adopters, folks who have just said, you know what, I want something better. I want to change the trajectory of my family, and it's hard, and it's going to be a hard 2 weeks. But on the other end of that, there's the magic happens, and I would love to hear people's stories so we can share that to others out there that don't think that they're capable of doing it. So please, early adopters, as entrepreneurial parents, please help us shape and push this message forward. It changes society. It'll change society.
This is amazing, folks. This is the kind of project we absolutely love to highlight and can get behind. Go to billiondinners.org right now. Download that app. Change your family. 10 in 2 Challenge. I'm going to be doing it, and I will share my progress with the Bravepreneur parent family. On that note, a really warm thanks. Thank you so much to Gerry for sharing this with us. We've been talking to Gerry Hays, the founder of DinnerCall. You can get more information and download the app at billiondinners.org. Gerry, thanks so much.
Thank you, Balaji. Have a great weekend.
All right, you too, and we'll talk to you guys tomorrow on the next edition of Bravepreneur Parents Academy. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
Fear not. Although this chapter of Bravepreneur Parents Academy has come to its conclusion, we have many more adventures for you and your brave little heroes. Head over to bravequest.me for access to the Brave Quest Journal, an interactive activity playbook that rewards your little ones with points for accomplishing tasks that build character and unleash your child's inner superhero all before bedtime. We look forward to having you join us for more adventures next time on Bravepreneur Parents Academy.